Hey, CImani Williams here, creative arts, holistic wellness life coach, and published author. So, I'm coming back to talk to you in this video about keeping your self publishing costs at a minimum. I'll preface this by saying that there are people who self publish with no cost to themselves, but these are people who have an extraordinary capability to um, serve as book editor, book formatter, um, book cover designer, proofreader, all of that. And rarely does someone have all the skills at once, right? Especially if we're just starting our self-publishing journey. So there are, things you cannot get away without making sure they are in place. And that is a book editor, someone who edits for a living books, a formatter. You might be able to do that part by yourself if you are like really technical and tech savvy. I thought I might cut that part out, and I found out after about 2 weeks of trying to do it every day that that was not my forte at that time. So I did pay a formatter. But if you are going the self publishing route, you can generally get someone for one price to do both your print and your ebook because it's the same manuscript essentially. And they know what the different dimensions are, but um, that's a one price deal generally, until you do decide to do it for yourself. Um, I'm going to that is something that I'm going to invest in. Some sitting down with someone who can walk me through it, because I would like to become fluent enough in formatting for KDP that I can do it myself. This first time around, I tried it. Nope. And so we're not going to spend, months and months and months trying to perfect something if we can hand it off and maybe defray that cost with another budget item in there. So again, you will need an editor, book editor, professional. You will need a book formatter. You will need a proofreader. Those will be your those were my three biggest costs. Um, my ISBNs, I'll talk about those in another video, but you will need ISBNs if you plan to sell your book in places other than Amazon. Because Amazon KDP can assign you your ISBN, but then you can't sell it outside of there. And I want to keep as much freedom with this process as possible, because the things that happen on the front end before your book is published are quite different than after your book is published and you are in the PR and marketing world. So you will wear a lot of hats, but for me the goal is to learn as much as I can and then share that information. And so my book was scheduled. I gave myself a 90-day deadline. Um, and then the last 3 weeks things happened. So instead of it coming out on November 15th, my publishing date was December 15th. And if you're like me, I'd rather have it right than, putting a date into the universe and saying that it all must happen by this time, or, just scrap the whole project. No way. I'd rather that I put the extra time in, the extra 3 weeks to make sure that it's right. Because once your book is live, it's live. You have up until it goes live to go back and make whatever changes you want. But once it's live, that's a whole nother issue. So you want it to be perfected before you send it out. You are welcome to grab the freebie. Um, the link is in the bio or in the description here. How to avoid costly self-publishing mistakes with CImani Williams. And my book is Root Work: Triumph Over Trauma, written for trauma survivors and service providers. And That is my voice as a trauma survivor, for others who may have gone through similar or the same and are struggling with next steps. I use creative arts because healing is possible, and you should know that. And that's now me wearing my life coach hat. But for me, it all syncs together. 30 years of experience, been writing since forever. I won my first um, writing contest in fifth grade for my short story. But mostly today, I write poetry and creative nonfiction, the real deal stuff for healing. All righty. Be well.